Hey Falcon fans, I'm Thomas Moth. Welcome into our Atlanta Falcons news rumor video here on a Tuesday. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. I know that I did. Let's jump into the latest things happening around your beloved Atlanta Falcons. Starting with, yes, Colin Kaepernick. We call it the Colin Kaepernick conundrum today as we begin with the news that, of course, he worked out for the Las Vegas Raiders last week. And anytime Colin Kaepernick has a workout, which is, once or twice a year during the offseason, one, nothing ever comes of it, and two, the media immediately starts going, oh, well, could the Raiders sign Kaepernick? Oh, what about these other teams that don't have good quarterbacks? What about them? And so naturally, even though there's no deal expected anytime soon for Kaepernick and the Raiders, Atlanta's name has been tossed around regarding going ahead and signing Colin Kaepernick. Why? Well, because Atlanta doesn't necessarily have their quarterback of the future. At least they don't think Marcus Mariota is, even though we believe that Desmond Ridder is. You can see where they go, oh, we'll insert Colin Kaepernick, create some buzz around the season, and have some fun with the former NFL quarterback who has not played since 2016. Now, Fansided had a write-up about this, and I think that I kind of agree with what they had to say. We'll throw it up on your screen right now. Quote, Colin seems to have renewed buzz after the Raiders brought him in for a workout last week. While they are yet to sign the veteran quarterback, reports suggest the workout went well. This leaves room to wonder if rebuilding teams like the Atlanta Falcons will give Colin a look. While Kaepernick has very similar numbers to Marcus Mariota and more playoff success than the Atlanta Falcons shouldn't bring in the veteran. We would have a potential fit if the team didn't draft a quarterback with Desmond Ridder. Now on the roster, there isn't a path for Colin to win the job, end quote. And I think this sums it up very, very well. I'm not going to come on here and give you some crazy hot take about how, if you sign Colin Kaepernick, you're going to sell more tickets and you're going to get more national media buzz, and no one's going to talk about Atlanta this year, so you must make a bold move. That might be true, and I don't think that you're wrong in saying that Kaepernick would bring in a little bit of buzz around the Falcons, but growing Desmond Ridder should be priority number one. It should be the focus right now for the Atlanta Falcons, and if you were to bring in Colin Kaepernick, you throw a massive wrench into the Ridder build plan. Now, Ridder's not going to start week one, at least I don't expect him to. I would think that Marcus Mariota will win that job, but you insert Colin Kaepernick in there, and not only is the media buzz going to be insane around practices, which it really wouldn't be for Desmond Ridder in year one, two, he now has to battle it out for maybe a backup quarterback spot, and maybe they give Kaepernick the job even though Ridder's playing better because of the drama that comes with Colin Kaepernick. I get the idea, and I do think that Mercedes-Benz Stadium is going to be pretty empty this year just due to the fact that Atlanta not going to be a good football team, not a lot of buzz around the team. Fans know there's going to be a losing season most likely, but bringing in Kaepernick just to sell 5,000 more tickets or 10,000 more tickets to me is not really the right move. Plus, if you're honest with yourselves, and most people are, but there are plenty in the media who aren't, Kaepernick has not played since 2016. That was a long time ago. It's 2022. You talk about a guy who's, he looked good in a workout. These workouts are no pads, there's no defense, there's no helmets. I mean, this is as basic as it gets. You could take any, starting caliber quarterback in college football who played for some D3 school, put them through a workout, and they look pretty good because, again, it's a workout, not an actual NFL game. Does that mean Kaepernick doesn't have the right to go ahead and work out for teams or make an actual NFL roster? No, he does. It's a matter if he wants to be a backup quarterback or not, and if a team wants to take on that much drama. But right now, the Falcons are not in a spot where they need that much drama, and I really think that Desmond Ridder, again, needs to be the focus on this rebuild, and he is going to be your key to success, not what now is an aging quarterback who hasn't played in a long time, and Colin Kaepernick. I'll ask you guys, though, would you be interested in signing Colin Kaepernick? Type Y down below for yes. If you're like me and you do not want to, type N down below for no. Now, we are approaching 7K subs here on the channel. Help us get there by going down below and subscribing. If they were to sign Colin Kaepernick, which again, I just said, I don't think that they will, but if they were to sign him, we'll break it all down here on the channel, plus all the rest of, greatest news, rumors, mailbag videos later on this week. We're going to cover it all on the channel, so go down below and be sure to subscribe. Okay, I want to bring up some news here that is very much glossed over. You're not going to read a lot about this because it's not really in a lot of the, AJC or ESPN, but they've had a position change for Avery Williams, which isn't necessarily mega news, but it's interesting news. So let's just start with Williams himself. If you ever think back, he was a 5th-round draft pick in 2021, drafted to be a cornerback, right? You go, okay, cornerback, okay, check, makes sense. Now, he played mostly special teams, very few actual cornerback snaps during the actual regular season. However, we bring this up because he's no longer a cornerback. He switched positions to running back, which is not necessarily a weird position change because cornerbacks and running backs are sometimes similarly built, but it's something that doesn't happen in the National Football League. It happens in high school, it happens at the college level, rarely, but in the NFL, you don't see this happening, and so now you have a running back depth chart that looks like this, right? Patterson's your 1, or at least, receiver, running back, hybrid, whatever. We put him there at number 1. You have Damian Williams, the free agent signing. You have Tyler Algier, the draft pick. You have Jeremy McNichols, and then Avery Williams, and so you go, okay, I guess that makes sense, but is he really going to actually make the roster as a running back? Is he going to be competitive as a running back? Clearly, he would not have switched over had he not actually thought he had a chance. The Falcons wouldn't just move him over to doom him for the rest of his career. It's just a weird overall move on something to definitely go ahead and keep an eye on. And what's also weird, I think, is you throw up the cornerback depth chart here, there wasn't a lot of competition for a backup cornerback role. Like, yes, Terrell and Hayward are going to be your two starters. Oliver is your backup. He's kind of your slot nickel guy. You have Alford and Darren Hall, the draft pick from last year, and I guess you throw in Mike Ford, although Mike Ford, you talk about practice squad or just kind of a camp body, but they didn't draft anybody this year. Like, Atlanta did not draft any other cornerbacks, and so you would assume that Avery Williams in year 2 would have had a shot to be a backup cornerback on the outside. Terrell gets injured, heaven forbid, Casey Hayward struggles, then he gets inserted in. And so you go from potentially being a number 2 or number 3 cornerback, or really just a backup 3 or 4, to being the 4th best running back on this roster, the 5th best running back on this roster. Again, I don't know enough about the situation to understand why they would go ahead and do this, other than to trust the fact that Williams is not going to make a bad move for his future career. Someone who's trying to be a 5th round draft pick to make money. As we know, in the NFL, you're a later round draft pick. Your shelf life in the National Football League is not very long. But at the same time, Atlanta must know what they're doing because they, I guess, need more running backs and don't need that many cornerbacks. Either way, it's a little weird, it's a little confusing, but it is worth noting here because we cover news and rumors, and so here's some news that I didn't see coming. Avery Williams is now on the running back depth chart. All right, we'll get to Marcus Mariota's thoughts on the wide receiver core in just one second. First, the Falcons combo is still available right now. We've talked about this many, many times. You see the picture of the apparel on your screen right now. Chatsports.com/Falcons combo, 25% off. Like, these Memorial Day sales are still going on, and it's only Tuesday. Memorial Day was yesterday. Link is on your screen and in the description box. Chatsports.com/Falcons combo. You got to pick this up because it's summertime, and I've always said now is the best time to get your NFL apparel. I mean, it's off-season, stuff is on sale. You get it now, you put it in the closet, and you still wear it during the offseason, but then the season starts, and you got fresh gear at a fraction of the price. So 25% off, link is on your screen and down below. Pick it up right now. All right, quickly here, I want to get to some notes from OTAs. The Falcons are one of the teams that started OTAs early. There are some teams starting today. Atlanta started last week. And there have been some, little bits and pieces coming out. And we talked about OTAs last week and how, you're going to hear some stories, but there's not going to be a lot of buzz, right? Barring some sort of massive injury, it's going to be kind of like, simple 11-on-11 practices, simple drills, simple conditioning, no pads, no hitting, so very, very watered down. Well, Marcus Mariota was asked about all of this and really asked about his wide receiver core, which is a fascinating group, as we'll see here and we've talked about on the channel. Mariota had a lot of high praise for these guys, and it makes me wonder if this position group is going to surprise us again once we get to 2022. Here is Mariota on the situation. Quote, "With those guys in there, they make you look good. You don't always have to be perfect with your throws. Being able to have these guys, whether it be their catch radius, whether it be their ability to get in and out of cuts, receivers have really made all of us quarterbacks look good this offseason." Now, I'm not saying that this should be a shock to anybody because there are decent receivers on this roster and they're all tall, and so your catch radius is obviously, a lot bigger than a short wide receiver core. But I didn't expect this group to be this, I would say, exciting early on. And I'm not going to sit back and say, oh, well, just because Marcus Mariota said this, they're going to be a top 5 group or a top 10 group. I have no idea how actually good they're going to go ahead and be. But maybe, just maybe, this ragtag group of random tall wide receivers, and truly that is what it is. You got Brian Edwards, you have Auden Tate, Geronimo Allison, you draft Drake London. Like, it's a weird group overall, and on paper is very, very weak statistically and in previous NFL seasons in terms of their overall numbers. But maybe, just maybe, they're going to be a little bit better than some people think. And I think so far they've been impressive for our starting quarterback in Marcus Mariota. So keep that in the back of your mind as you keep hearing things going through OTAs and obviously into the offseason and training camp. And which position group will surprise people the most in 2022 surrounding our Atlanta Falcons? Is there a group that you think is going to pop? Maybe it's the receivers, maybe it's the D-line, maybe it's somebody else. Let me know which position group you think will be a surprise in the comment section. For me, I think you got to watch out for the linebackers. I think the linebacking core, whatever happens with Deion Jones, whether he's going to actually get cut or traded after June 1st, who knows. But Troy Anderson, I think, is very exciting. He's turning a lot of heads at OTAs, and he, to me, was a great draft pick, a surprise one that a lot of Falcon fans didn't see coming. You got Michael Walker currently there on the roster. The outside backers like Carter, the new signed free agent. I think the linebackers are going to be better than they have in recent history. And I think that Falcon fans in general have overlooked the linebacker play the past couple of years because Jones is still there, and in a lot of Falcon fans' minds, like, he's still really, really good, even though he's necessarily not statistically. And so I'm going to look out for the linebackers, although cornerbacks in there as well as a bonus. I think the Falcon cornerbacks are going to be fantastic with Hayward and A.J. Terrell. Okay, ultimate video day on Atlanta Falcons news and rumor video. We, of course, are going to have a mailbag video later on this week. I'm going to pull a ton of questions for that, so go down below and subscribe. And if you want to ask a question, use the hashtag Falcons in the comments section to ask your mailbag question. And then, of course, I will answer them later on this weekend. So go down below, subscribe, and ask your mailbag questions. Now, for Atlanta Falcons today, Thomas Mott signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.